So this is from Dr. Larry Farsakian. He's in Chicago. He had some issues with a pretty sharp and double curve to the distal and the facial in the distal root of this lower molar, not able to pass files predictably around that tight anatomy. So he used GuttaCore in this case. You can see that it's long and narrow and tight anatomy here, and he's able to get sealer and or gutta percha to wrap around that curve. I think that's pretty impressive hydraulics, certainly increasing the likelihood for healing and long-term success. This is from Dr. Bill Nudera, also in Chicago. Here we see GuttaCore carriers placed to the apex following a wave 1 instrumentation, and you see 2 final images with a barrier at the orifice level to enhance the coronal seal. Dr. Scott Doyle in Minneapolis, this is a radix entomolaris. So these are very, very difficult to treat in many instances because that root is going very much lingual and wrapping around, big curve, tight anatomy. And that's what GuttaCore is absolutely ideal for. There's no way he'd be able to get a heat source down to the apical third of this root. Physically not possible. And there's his end result. A few of mine. This is a 24.5 millimeter premolar. There's nothing magic about that from my perspective. I mean, this is what we deal with. It's a fairly small system in through here. No way I'm going to be able to get a heat source down to the level I want to thermoplasticize with a warm technique. So I want warm gutta percha. My only option at that point is to do a carrier base. And you can see the 2 canals did join to exit a common exit. I've underfilled just below the previous amalgam to enhance the coronal seal when the permanent filling is placed. And we can see filling to the apex. So I'm pleased with that outcome. This is one that had lots of mesial distal curve, but every now and again we run into one of these upper molars that has a tremendous amount of buccal lingual curve on top of it. You don't get to appreciate how much buccal lingual curve was present in this tooth. I could get a heat source to here. That was it. So right here it's starting to curve this way, but it's also really diving to the lingual. There's no way I'm going to get a heat source down to thermoplasticize at this level. So to me, this is an ideal GuttaCore carrier case. Tight anatomy in an upper molar. Same thing. GuttaCore case. The 2 canals did remain separate and distinct in the mesial root. And you can see how narrow that gets in the apical half of the root.